Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lilly Sketchpad, brought to you by Force One Studios. I'm your host, Tom Lilly. Today, I'm going to be working once again on my favorite character, actually my first villain, I should say, coming up in the upcoming graphic novel, Solomon's Temple. You guys have seen it before. This is one of the illustrations I did of him. It's right there. His name is Rummy. I'll be drawing him again, trying to work out the finite details of how I want him to look. But anyway, before we get started on that, I guess we should start with some really cool stuff coming up. Listen, guys, it's really important that we back our local artisans, our fellow creators, and our fellow artists. I really need you guys to join me in on this one subject. It's what I like to call my new segment. Prepare for it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Look at this. Wait 1 second. I'm looking over my screen. I do apologize, making sure it's all set up. But we're going to be doing that. Pachanga. Yeah, there we go. It's what I'm calling my my books to back segment. As you see over here to my one side, I have a scrolling menu. Okay. These are guys that I have followed on YouTube, Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and these are guys that I like that I personally have liked, and actually I am currently backing their books, much to my wife's chagrin. It's like, honey, do we really have the money you're spending on this stuff? Well, you know what? Yes, this is something I like, something I enjoy, and if I want people to like and follow my stuff, I sure as heck should be willing to like and follow theirs. Correct? I mean, that's a big thing here around here. We all, so, you wash my back, I wash yours. We look out for everybody. Everybody looks out for each other, and eventually, what do we have? A nice, happy world. So anyway, what we're gonna start is Van Klaus. You see there, Monster MD. Down below, down below that little segment, you see a link. Please copy that link. Look him up on Indiegogo. Next is Elliot Fernandez. The Jerk Monger Show is his little baby. You can see he has Doom Kicker. Again, look down at the bottom for the links. Next, we have Andy Smith. He is on Kickstarter, not on Indiegogo, Kickstarter. And you see a link for him. Then we also have Doug Tenaple. Doug Tenaple's a funny guy. Just watched another video of his with a couple of his buddies. Really cool show. Link at the bottom of there again. I'm going to let this scroll through twice so you guys can copy that link. I tried to slow it down so it doesn't scroll too fast. Then we have Brian Shearer. Brian Shearer is with Gunship Thunder Punch. Another good book. You want to follow him. You want to back him. So these are good guys. I'm telling you. I really honestly believe you're not going to be upset with the quality of the product. And I honestly believe they're actually going to give you what they promised to give you. I know there's some people out there is like, crowdfunding's great, but it's okay, but they don't have to provide you with the product. You pay them, and all of a sudden they can walk off with the money. These guys are legit. All right, Doug Tenaple is hooking himself up with the right people, and he has already provided multiple books out there. Elliot Fernandez had an Indiegogo campaign, and his Indiegogo campaign, he fulfilled on his promise. I have one of his books, the Black and Red book. Brian Shearer's done this a couple times, and he's fulfilled on his promise. I'm not saying about Von Klaus because I don't know about Von Klaus, but these guys have recommended Von Klaus, and that's Monster MD. So if they vouch for him, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get what I'm looking for. I am going to be adding to this list, and as some of these campaigns filter off and drop off, I will be removing them from the list. But you guys, I'm telling you, like, share, follow, and if you can, contribute to their campaigns, because we're trying to make a better product, trying to make a better world, trying to bring back life back into the comic book industry. Anyway, that's the end of my books to back segment. Let's go ahead and head back to the art table. Here we go. Boom, I'm back. Back to my art table. And, oh, wrong one. I want to work from my art table, right? There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. I do apologize about that. I'm a one-man show. There we go. And we got a little tunage going again. Yes. All right. Smooth. Smooth, easy listening. There we go. It cranked up just a scotch. There we go. I don't know if y'all are able to hear that or not. Let's see. See if I can get some volume on this bad boy. Anyway. There we go. Maxed out on my volume on my headphones. Ooh, might be a little too high there. I think the volume was down on my headphones. That's the reason why it didn't sound so great to me. But hey, I'm there now. I'm enjoying. Let's rock and roll. Get some. Now I'm probably gonna have to change this up a little bit. Find or go on GarageBand and make a sample up some more music, or not sample up. They got this wonderful little thing where you can. They got like little bits, and you can sit there, put things together, and create music like this. I'm probably gonna have to do that again because I need to upgrade my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to keep playing the same thing over and over and bore everybody to death. What's going on here? One of my papers fell on the ground while I was trimming it. This is from that tablet that I used the other day. It's the same paper, but what I did is I just cut it was because it was a 17 by 14 tablet. I just cut it down to 11 by 17. Yeah, 14 by 17. I cut it down to 11 by 17. All right. Still wanting to keep relatively that same idea from my main man, Rummy, the big baddie. Let's see what we can do here. Pull down my glasses. Alright, so I think what I'm going to end up doing here, rather than trying to do this always on the fly, I don't like disappointing. So what I might end up doing here is doing a thumbnail rough on the side. Just do a thumbnail rough. That way, at least have an idea of what I want to put on paper before I start the video, because I'm literally starting off cold here. Seems like because I'm rushed for time and I gotta do this when I'm able to and the mood strikes me. I have to. It seems like I'm doing this on the fly. So he's gonna be a werewolf. So I'm gonna give him some finger claws here. Yeah, I'm gonna rock that bad mammy jammy. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. So we're gonna just erase that bad boy. But I got a feeling I know where I want to go with this now. We want to make Rummy look like a big baddie. I mean, after all, he is a serial killing werewolf. He's always gonna be semi. I figure I'm gonna go with that theme where he's always semi wolfed out. What I like to call semi wolfed out. He's not fully wolfed, so he doesn't have like, but he's always gonna have partial jaw, partial fangs. But enough where he can walk around, people just think he's a fuzzy bearded human. But he is partially using his wolf powers. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. And we're going to try and keep this lively. As I said before, my plan is you're gonna see that these videos are pre-recorded, and I'm trying to make them when I can make them, because currently in a situation where my wife is currently looking for another job. She just left her one job. It was a little bit of a messed up situation going on there for her and the people she was working with. They loved her. They're giving her very high praises, very high recommendations, and they said if she ever wanted to come back, they would bring her back in a heartbeat. Which I don't understand how that's going to be, because she kind of left to save somebody else's job, that somebody else would have a job. So if she came back, that person that she left to save the job probably wouldn't have their job anymore. But so I'm trying to make this. See how I did with this guy, with this one. I made his nose come out a little bit more. I don't want that in this one. I don't want to. Yeah, that's just too much. Too much protrusion. But I do want him to have a slightly longer schnoz, because it's kind of indicating the wolf. You know what I'm saying? Trying to indicate the wolf. I've also considered giving him long hair. But again, this is still very preliminary, so very rough. Trying to just figure out how I want this guy to look. I should make him a little bit more vicious, like grinding his teeth, right? What do you think? Says smiling. I don't know. Nah, he's gonna have a cocky grin. He's definitely gonna be cocky. I gotta remember that part of that scar comes down across his lip. He's there you go. like to thank you guys for, if you're watching this video, for joining me and looking at what I'm doing. I promise this is only going to get better as I'm watching my little furball cat run by me, as it is getting late, and I forgot that the timer on my butt. Dang, on my butt in there. How long have I been walking? Hold on a second. 16 minutes, so I'm gonna knock this bad boy back. Let's make it 45. Yeah, we'll make it 44, because this actually said 16. There we go, start right there. Because I'm trying to make my segments only an hour long. That doesn't really fit for me either. That's okay. Bring this down a little bit. There you go. Start over, because I'm trying to figure out how I want the face to look. Draw the face nice and big. He's got that scar that's coming up his face. That's my kitten that you hear that. I don't know if you guys heard that. Meow. He's sitting over there by the basement door. He's constantly wanting to go down in that basement. The thing of it is, he's a little fur ball. I mean, a lot of fur. When I say a little fur ball, I mean he's a lot. He's a little cat. He's what they call a Napoleon. So he's a little cat, but he's really furry. And oh my goodness, just let him get downstairs in the basement. We did that one time. We had to give him a bath. You guys ever given cats a bath? It's Claw City. Ah, you little, oh, you little, oh. Kind of that little part that I put in there almost sounds like a doorbell to me every time. Do 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 do. And as I said before, this is preliminary stuff that I'm working on. This is trying to get a feel for what this character is going to look like, because I'm currently working on the things for him for the script, and I want a feel for how he's going to look. So it's definitely not my finished work I'm putting in here. Probably should start doing some videos with some finished work so that you guys can see what my finished product looks like. I'm thinking again. I'm still thinking maybe I'll give him some long hair, but I kind of already did that with Temple. I mean, not really. Temple's got, or Colin, excuse me. Colin has. It looks like he's bald, but he actually has a ponytail comes off the back of his head. And there's one video or one picture I drew of him where it actually shows. But most of the time, when he's wearing his armor, it's tucked inside the neck part, so he doesn't, so like nobody can grab a hold of it. Like a werewolf can't grab a hold of it and yank on it. And when he's wearing his helmet, you can't get a hold of it because his helmet covers over the top of his head, and like the visor part, the top part clicks up, and this part kind of clicks down, or clicks down and out, so he can, or clicks this. I was thinking about actually maybe just have it pop open so that you can see his face. Still working at the finite details on that, how that's all going to work too. Of course, you just have the whole thing like a faceplate, like a normal knight's armor would just come up to the top. But in all cases, when he pulls the faceplate part from his face, away from his face, to expose his face, he has to take the hood off. And it shows that there's a back part to the helmet. Kind of, you would think the story you would think the way I have the character drawn, the story of Solomon's Temple is taking place in medieval times, because he's wearing such like a crusade type looking outfit. But it's actually taking place in modern times. He's like a modern day knight, secret modern day knight. I really want to be careful with this, because what I don't want to end up doing on this is making him look like Beast from Marvel Comics, because that's not what the look I'm going for. Because this guy is definitely going to have clothes. It's just that he's so he's always going to. It's going to be always like kind of partially wolfed, not completely. Because he's just so savage. Rummy's just so savage that he likes that fierceness, the power the wolf gives him. He's in love with his wolf persona. So much so, it doesn't matter to him that, you know, because he does know, he does figure out, because he's not stupid, he does figure out that Delilah set him up in the story and set him up to become a wolf, and he doesn't mind it, because he feels like she did him a favor and brought him into the fold and made him even more powerful. He does, though, and he does absolutely resent the vampires, because, you know, as I said, when he became part of the fold and became part of the pack, his condemned vampire basically told him, "You're no longer a serial murderer. You serial murderer, I will end you. You are done." And I might even include that part in the story. I was thinking about maybe including in there somehow, you know, that he explains that he didn't give a crap in the beginning, that it was going to cost him his life, but, you know, that it was going to cost him his life, so the vampire figured out that he had an attachment to Delilah, so he threatened to take Delilah's life. But that seems too cliche. People have done that a lot already. So just, I mean, he's supposed to be a real true baddie, so what's wrong with him being you know, as any true baddie is, You know, he's not going to sacrifice himself for somebody else. He's more worried about self-preservation, right? I mean, that's what most baddies do. It's about self-preservation. Screw the world. Screw everybody else. It's about me, baby. Me and what I want out of life. And if you don't like it, I'll kill you and slice your throat. And that's the kind of bad man this guy's gonna be. Don't get in my way. I will take you out. Because remember, Rummy, before he became Ephraim Clark, he was a killer. Before he decided he wanted to be a surgeon and was declined the opportunity to be that, he was a street thug. Kid born to a prostitute, never knew his father. Prostitutes sold him off. I wanted to build a personality that was like, you feel bad for the guy. It's like, wow, oh my God, his mom actually did that to him. But it also created that, how bad can it be for you to want to kill your mom? How bad would it have to be for you to become absolute a monster, to willingly accept that, to willingly accept losing your soul, not caring whether or not you have a soul, going to heaven, and choosing just to be that bad man. And well, in order to be that, you'd have to be somewhat mentally ill, somewhat twisted, or a lonely follower. So I want to be so different, because I see a lot of that today. Well, you know, some of these people are like, I'm in a Satan worship, I'm in a devil worship, and all that. And well, you know what? When I meet a lot of them, it's sad. They think they're being individual. They think they're being different. But the reality of it is are you really? One guy I know, he really seems like a really decent guy. Right? I've seen him a couple times, but he dresses in goth. Right? And he thinks he's being unique and different, but all I see every time I see him, he looks like somebody stepped right off of a Cure album cover. He looked like the poster board. He looked like a Cure wannabe to me, right? Then I talked to him, come to find out that he's a Satanist. That he doesn't. But I also blame that on the church, because in talking to him, come to find out that someone in the Catholic Church told him that these people who are mentally ill go to hell. They don't go to heaven. That God is forsaken them. I'm like, who in their right mind would say some sick, twisted crap like that? Oh, come on, man. And he says he read it in the Bible, and I'm like, listen, the Bible can be interpreted many different ways, and you can misinterpret and misunderstand things. One key message that I've always pulled from that Bible, from the Holy Bible, is that God is love. He is compassion. That's what Jesus taught me. He's love and compassion. So if you're doing something that defies that love and that compassion, then odds are you're in the wrong, no matter who you are. I'm sorry. If you're not being compassionate, you're most likely doing the wrong thing, because that's what God is compassion. How far along are we? 30 minutes. 30 minutes left. Put this bad boy in. believe it or not, it seems like a long drawn out process to figure out how you want a character to look, but this is essentially what I do. I just keep drawing it until I get a feel for how I want it. That's what I did with Temple. That's what I actually did with and I'll be drawing her soon too, with Asia. I'm pretty sure because I'm doing her spelling of her name unusual. It looks like it's would be pronounced Asia, but I'm pretty sure some people are going to tell me different. That it's not pronounced that way, but her spelling of Asia or Asia is A-A. It's A-A-S-I-A. Almost like Asia, but with two A's in the beginning. There we go. I just wanted to use that for the primarily for the scar. I'm not really going to use that for drawing the whole face and the eyes and all that. I really didn't mean to do that. Sometimes when I pull out a pen or something, then I just start going to town. Like, wait a minute, that's not what I originally wanted to do with that. There we go. This is what I originally wanted to do. Is just using the what do you call that? The micron. I was using the micron pretty much just to draw in the scar because I didn't want the scar. I used this pen right here for this. I thought it was too thick. The scar was just way too thick. It was too prominent. So I was like, well, I can thin it out, and how I can thin it out is by using the micron to draw it in. And that reminds me, I got to draw the draw that in there. There we go. Pow! Pow! How you like that? Bang! Let's go. Pow! My new little catchphrase. Pow! Wow. Booyah! Although I technically wouldn't say this is a booyah drawing. This is me just messing around trying to figure out how I want to draw this character. Now I'm going to start doing some live video chats here coming up soon. But I want to. Doug Teepublic hit it on the last video he did when he had a couple guys on there. He hit it right on the nail, hit the nail right on the head. Just somebody sitting there drawing can be an absolutely boring video, unless you're really an art enthusiast and you want to see somebody drawing. It can be absolutely boring. I mean. And that's the last thing I want to do is bore the hell out of people. That's why I'm talking a lot here. I need to start being funny. My usual humor self. Of course, right now it is 4:16 in the morning. 4:16 in the morning. I want to go to bed. But I'm not gonna lie, I got a little lazy today. I hate that saying. I don't know why I start saying that. Because somebody else said that to me recently. It's got me saying, I'm not gonna lie. Usually, I was told this by my father. Actually, I don't think it was my father. I forget who it was. Somebody told me this one time. Most of the time, he told me most of the time when somebody tells him, I'm not gonna lie, he says, okay. So the rest of the time you're lying to me? And he goes, I don't trust somebody who uses that saying. So I really got to force myself not to say that. And I wasn't saying that for a long time. But as I said, somebody said it to me and got me saying that stupid saying I'm not gonna lie. Well, if you're not lying to me, if you're telling me right now that you're not lying to, that you're not gonna lie to me, that must mean that the rest of the time that you were lying to me. It made sense. So I told myself I wasn't gonna use that saying, and here I am using that saying. Dang. Stop using the saying, Mr. Lilly. Stop using the saying. There we go. I shouldn't make the lips prominent like that when he's smiling. Kind of looks like the Joker. I think I just messed this up. It's okay. No, it's okay. Because I said it's just me trying to figure out how I want this guy to look. And just put a couple sharp teeth in there. And if you guys are trying to figure out what I mean by my technique of how this is my technique and how I figure out how I'm going to draw a character, how I want this character to look, give me a moment when I take a break here and I'll show you what I mean, because I got sketchbooks of that temple. I've been drawing off and on for a little bit, trying to figure out how I want him to look as I was working on his story and plotting stuff out in my head. Yeah, it's a funny thing though. With all that plotting out, I was plotting in my head. I never wrote it down. This is just started writing it down now. I had this idea for years of how I wanted this character to, wanted this character to be. And in actuality, this particular character I didn't work on a whole lot, because I was figuring I was going to start with the middle brother, because that was the first one I ever created. But then I was like, you know what? Start with the older brother, because there's a story there. And the problem was, believe it or not, when I first came out with the first brother, which became Temple, I actually was going to call him Stealth, and he was supposed to be using magic, and he was supposed to be this sorcerer type guy. He was trained. It was a sorcerer ninja who was trained by these secret ninja clan. He was supposed to use this sword that had a dragon's eye in it, and then I was going to call him Stealth. This was going to be the name of the character. And then later on, I found out somebody else used the name Stealth for a comic book character, and then I started realizing that there were people using a lot of segments of the story in their stories, and I didn't want people to think I just mirrored took a whole bunch of ideas of somebody else's ideas and glued them into a character. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep the idea. The only thing I'm going to keep, I threw the rest of it out. I told myself the only thing I'm really going to keep is that somehow he uses a mystical force. I know I was going to keep that. Also, he was still going to be the oldest brother of the three brothers. And at first I was going to still, the old character, he would actually attack humans too. He'd go after the baddie humans too, take them out too. But yeah, when I decided to go with the religious aspect of it, I said, why would God send an immortal soul to be this avenging angel against other humans, when he's, according to the Bible anyway, it tells me that that would be judging. And if Temple were to tag humans for the crimes they commit, he's judging those humans. And one of the commandments in the Bible is thou shalt not judge. We're not supposed to judge our fellow man. It's not our place to judge. That's God's role. That's God's place. We're not to play God. So that's when I decided to make it a more supernatural thing, start going with the vampires and werewolves and stuff. But then I was like, well, that's cool and all, but I don't want it to be just another vampire slayer story. I don't want it to be just another werewolf hunting story. I don't want it to be just another supernatural. So I was like, I remember my friend Chris, who actually came up with the third brother, and he gave me permission, gave me the rights to the character, because I always believe these three characters belong together, and he gave me the rights to the character and permission to use the character. The only thing he requested was that he draws the character, and that if anything comes of the character that he created, and he comes up with the idea, that I pay him, that I give him some money, contribute a portion of the money to him, which I told him I was going to do. So he's going to draw what the character he wants the character to look like. I got all the memories, ideas of all the story plot lines, the stories that he wanted in his character. And I remember one of the stories he wanted to do a vampire story, but he wanted the vampires to be different from what the normal vampires would be. And that's when I came up with the idea, well, how can I make vampires different? My vampire's different from everybody else. And that's when I came up with the Condemned, and then the Revenant, and then the werewolves, and how they all came to be. All in an attempt to make it different. And that character that I'm talking about, the third brother, the youngest brother, he will be going up against these, not a constant basis, but he will be going up against, I'm sorry, I tapped that for you guys, there you go. He will be going up against these the Condemned at some point. All three brothers will. Kind of reason why it's going to be my introduction, because the thing you got to remember about Temple is one of the Ordained, as they're called, before they become the Temple, the whole rule of the Ordained is they have to give up their previous life, no connection to their old life, for the safety of their family, for the safety, they give up their old identity. And that's the reason why, I don't know if I told you this guys before, but Colin is not his. Colin's name, or the name Colin, is not Colin's real name. That is his chosen name. When a temple gives up his life, it gives up his identity, he is told to choose a name. And in this case, Colin chose Colin. Again, I won't give you his real name because, well, you have to read the comic book, read the graphic novel to get that. I'm going to give you some stuff. There's all kinds of intricate little stuff in there. I'll give you some little goodies and little bits and pieces here, but I don't want to give the whole thing away. If I give the whole thing away, there's nothing there for you to enjoy, right? And I want people to enjoy these stories. So back to what I was saying, been working on this story for a while. But it's changed over time and adapted and became what it is, and I never really wrote it all down for a long time. It was always up here in my head, and I'd write bits and pieces down here. As I said, I have an encyclopedia thing. I did it, and I wrote the bits and pieces in the encyclopedia and told pieces of the story, but never actually put the whole thing together. And that's what I'm doing now. So while I'm writing the script and trying to figure out how I want these characters. Now, hold on a second. I'll do this real quick for you guys, so you guys see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Pull this one sketchbook out. I think I might have some sketches of him in here. This is a sketchbook, one of my old sketchbooks. You see that's from 2017, 2 years ago, and I was just drawing stuff. But in here, let me see if I can find it. I think it was one of my first times ever drawing. Temple was actually in this sketchbook. Let me see if I can find them in here. No, not there. It might not be in this one. I was pretty sure I did do my first rendering of him. This is going to be one of the baddies in that story. That guy right there, he's going to be one of the baddies in the story. And that's a mask, by the way. That right there is a mask. That's going to be in the story. He wears this silver mask over top of a ram's head. He's going to be one of the baddies in the story. And here's the other one. And basically, it's another one of them situations where it's a master and a pupil. He's a sorcerer, an evil sorcerer assassin. He's an evil sorcerer assassin, and he has his this is his pupil. And I'll be obviously cleaning that up, sharpening it up, making it a little bit more butt kick. Hey, there you go. Hey, you guys like that? Cyclops X-Men. I did that little thing right there. This is all from 2 years ago. Well, my wife is up. She's sitting there. What time do I have? Oh, she got up early on me. So, let's see. I could have swore I had a drawing, one of my first illustrations of Temple in here. Again, I might be wrong. Let me see if I can find it. This is my sketchbook from when I was... oh, lordy. Nope, not in that one. It's got to be in this one. This is becoming a mess. There we go. My wife's sitting over there laughing at me. Yeah. There we go. This is the book. This is the book where I have the first illustration. Go back, go back, go back, go back. There we go. There it is. Some of the first illustrations. Go back a little further. There's other ones here where I was... There's another sketchbook around here somewhere where I was drawing it like a couple years ago. What he looked like. But there's one of my first color renditions of him. There's another color rendition of him. You've probably seen those. But yeah, I've been working on that idea for a little while, and I'm knocking my cameras all over the place. Do apologize. So 10 minutes left. Sorry, my cat's sitting there whining even through my headphones. Meow, meow, meow. Mommy's up. She's going to feed us. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Like I said, if you like what you see, if you appreciate the show, Please like, follow, subscribe. The bottom of the page, you see there's a tip jar. All funds are appreciated. They will be put back into this show, into the use of making products for consumption for people to purchase. I want to start making t-shirts, fun little paraphernalia stuff. Also, I'd like to upgrade some of my equipment, work on that kind of fun stuff. Now, let me pull this up. All right, there. Got that clipped up there. I want to. There we go. One ability of not having it clipped in one spot is I can move it around and do what I want with the illustration. The drawback though is when you're on a tilted surface, your artwork wants to fall down on you. There we go. One thing I do know about that we're going to do with Rummy, and absolutely for sure, is Rummy. I keep calling him Rummy. I keep going back to that Rummy. Maybe I will change his name to Rummy. Nah, I'm going to keep it Rummy. I mean, because he's, as I said, the whole premise of that whole thing is the bartender calls him Rummy because it's his favorite drink, rum. Calls him Rummy. But, it doesn't. It's not Rummy's favorite drink, but it's the bartender's favorite drink, rum. So when Rummy's born, what's the old cliche? When he's born, hey, it's my favorite drink. I just call this boy Rummy. And because his mother, as I said, is a prostitute and doesn't really care much about him, she goes ahead and lets this man name him that horrible name of Rummy. That goes through a horrible childhood, and because of his horrible childhood, he ends up becoming a murderer. And then as a murderer, he catches the eye of Delilah, a revenant. Actually, he catches her eye before she realizes he's a murderer. But the reason why he catches her eye is because she senses something about him. She can sense that he's a bad boy. Even when he's at his best, when he doesn't know because he's lost his memory. Remember, he got in that fight in the street, got cracked over the head, lost his memory, and was aided by that doctor. Where he decides he wants to become a surgeon, but is not allowed to attend this school or the university hospital because doesn't have the money, but he is a medical assistant for the doctor till the doctor dies, and the superintendent who runs the whole show doesn't really like Rummy. Actually, at that point, you know, his name is Ephraim, because again, he doesn't remember his persona as Rummy. Kind of a going theme I'm using in the story, I guess you could say, is metamorphosis and change, because it's common. Black people don't realize. I mean, we go through stages in our life, all of us, and those stages, we change. And in this case, like with those stages, their personalities change, but not only their personalities, but their names change. You know, Rummy becomes Ephraim Clark for a while when he doesn't remember who he is. To only then later on start to remember who he is when that prostitute cadaver shows up on the table, and he remembers what he did, how he killed his own mother and framed one of her clients for it, then took to the streets. 4 minutes left. Trying to get this done in 4 minutes. Oop. I think I'm going to be. I mean, I'm pretty much sticking to this look on them. So, I mean, I might actually keep doing this look. It's pretty close, pretty similar. I'm just ironing it out, right? A ruffian. A werewolf ruffian. Stays partially wolfed out because he enjoys being that wild side. Enjoys being that bad man. And his girlfriend Delilah, who loves the fact that he's a bad man because she's a bad girl. Probably even more in my story you find out she's even more twisted than he is. And that like him, the vampire master, like the vampire master did with him, kept him under control and kept him from going out and murdering because he didn't want people to suspect them of being anything different than just average humans. He did this. That vampire did the same thing with Delilah. And that's going to be a whole nother story, and that's in my graphic novel, where Temple comes up against her too. I keep telling you guys the whole story, and it's not going to be reason for you to buy the book, but who knows? I want to follow the same logic and reasoning that that Doug Teepublic and all of them are saying. I mean, they tell you chunks of their stories. And heck, I haven't watched those videos. I've caught pieces of them, but there's whole videos where Doug actually, as he's writing the script for the book, you're there watching him write the script. So there's people like I remember one of the guys was talking, one of the artists who that's on one of his shows, said, I remember when you were writing that part of the script, you were showing that on the video. I remember that part of the story, because he's like wants to keep his people involved in it. It's a good idea. Makes you feel like you're part of the process, and that's the whole thing. I mean, it's what you're really selling. You're not selling just the comic book. I mean, because the reality of it is the graphic novel and comic book would be kind of pricey. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you buy a graphic novel or a comic book at a store for $8, $9, $10, $12, $14, $15, $18. But if you're doing crowdfunding, you're contributing $25, $30 sometimes or more. And sure, you're getting stretch goal perks and little extra stuff in there that's included in it if it meets the goal and goes beyond the goal. And everybody hopes when they're in a crowdfunding thing, they're hoping that enough people get in there that not only does it meet the goal, but it crushes the goal, you know. And then you get the extras, the goodies, the little product stuff that comes out, yeah. Stuff that little posters, the bookmarks with the special artwork, the prints, and the cut, you know, the art pages from the book itself and stuff like that. And I'll be including some of that stuff in my crowdfunding campaign as well when I eventually get it off the ground. So you'll be looking forward to that as well. Well, looks like we are done. Just in time. I got just enough of this project. I mean, it's not pretty, as I said, but it's me trying to rough out what I want this character to look like. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and I hope I didn't just completely take this thing off. That's one of the reasons why I clipped this on here, so you guys can see it. And I should look over at the screen every once in a while, make sure that you guys are able to see what I'm looking at. But there you go. There's another rendition of what Rummy might possibly look like. What I'm going to be making him look like. He's, again, this is going to be the first villain in the that Callan will be coming up against. The first baddie. I want to make his underneath his eyes just a little darker. There we go. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We're going to be making this bad boy. Rocking it. And that is Rummy. That's the name of the character, Rummy. Alright. Anyway, as I said, thank you very much for joining me on the show. It's time to wrap this bad boy up. Alright, and I'm sitting here always looking over at my computer screen. I do apologize, but I should be looking up here at you guys. Now we're going to go ahead and switch this bad boy back real quick. There we go. There we go. Back to my books to back segment. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would appreciate it greatly. I know these artists would appreciate it greatly if you would go ahead and check these bad boys out. Once again, we have Elliot Fernandez, the Jerkmonger Show, his Doomkicker book. The link is down there at the bottom. You can go find him on Indiegogo. We have Andy Smith. He is doing a dynamic poses, dynamic figure drawing book. And we have Doug Teepublic with Earthworm Jim. Again, he's on Indiegogo. Andy Smith is on Kickstarter. Then we also have the other book, Brian Shearer, Gunship Thunder Punch. Once again, you'll find him on Indiegogo. Gunship Thunder Punch. You need to check him out. Brian Shearer. And then there's another one, Von Klaus, written by Von Klaus. Monster MD. Looks really cool. Looks like it's going to be a very interesting book. You want to check him out. Again, check these gentlemen out. If you can, if you're able to, please join in the campaign. They would greatly appreciate it. I know I would greatly appreciate it because, hey, when we all chip in, there's more goodies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, it is time for me to wrap this segment up. I would like to thank you very much for joining me here on Lilly's Sketchpad, and I look forward to, hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye now.